Yes, let's
how did
go.
this idea start? How did everything kind of the idea of doing this project? This give us a little background, I guess, of where the idea started because you've done them before. You've done a few different series, right?
Yeah. Okay. So this is actually the fourth of its series for the like the alternative music part. And I did one a few years well, I've been doing some with a bunch of DJs play all kind of music. But I haven't seen nothing where it was just a bunch of like alternative music and alternative DJs. It's like, oh, let me give it a shot. So I reached out to a lot of DJs around 10, guys from our era and some from the 90s and on. And it went pretty well. And I didn't I the response was good enough to keep doing it. We don't make massive quantities. It's just a limited amount. And I think that's what makes it a little bit special too, because it's if you don't get your hands on it, you're not going to get your hands on it. I mean, the original, casing and all that stuff. Yeah. So I got a pretty good response. But with this last project, I was thinking that it could be my last one, and I'm like, if I'm going to go, this is my last, if it is my last one, I want to go out with a group of guys that I feel have been so a big part of this movement back in the 80s when it started. Yeah, there's a lot of good DJs in the 90s beyond, but this is the group right here, I think that pioneered all this music, especially in the Latino community. For example, me and Louis were on the radio, pushing that music. Yourself, Vic, Miguel, mobile events, and of course, clubs and stuff. But we weren't 21 at this time. We were in our teens, when this is happening. And once we got, older, Miguel, I mean, I like Miguel's take of this, because he just played the newer stuff like all the time. He kept playing newer and newer stuff. I'm not ashamed to say I'm stuck in the 80s or 90s, but that's me. Jesse, you've been around. Victor, my God, Victor's he's a man of many hats. He produces the music. He's great with the artwork, all that. And Segura had he was my partner at Alcatraz, and then he went had a successful career too in the clubs all over Chicago.
And beyond.
Yeah, and beyond. That's right, and beyond. So I thought if I'm gonna do this one last one, let it be with this group of guys here. And I don't want to take all the credit. Actually, Louis came up with the name Pioneer. Victor designed everything, all the graphics, and he came up with the idea with like, let it be black on black. And like, yeah, you know what? That'll look pretty sharp. It took like 3 companies that were able to do that. The 2 of them, they just for some reason they couldn't. But I found someone that could do it. It came out great. And well, here we are now talking about it.
Who are some other guys that were maybe considered to be maybe part of the group?
I didn't have time, but I wanted Psycho Bitch. I wanted the main John Curley. A couple guys from the Medusa scene. But I maybe next year, if I do one more, have those guys included as well with this group here. If anyone wants to do one more, but yeah, those are the guys I consider, because once again, I was focusing in the 80s. The group of people in the 80s. And Medusa was a big part of this.
Oh yeah,
this back
major
then,
influence probably on all of us.
Big, huge,
big time. Yep.
Yeah. Did you have like an idea musically what you wanted to kind of accomplish? Like obviously some people want to hear the stuff they know, the classics. What was your mindset for your particular mix, Pablo?
Okay.
Oh, you know what?
We'll start off with me, then we'll go down the line.
Yeah, we'll go to the line. Vic,
okay.
What was your take on the music you were going to play? Did you have anything in mind? as far as how you were going to put it together or what you were going to play?
Did you say Vic, or is this for Pablo?
Yeah, Vic. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Actually, no, man. I think I started off like, since it was a pioneer thing. I wanted to do the old stuff, but then I'm kind of bored with all some of the old stuff, so I kind of want to do some new stuff. And then eventually they just went in the middle. I was doing some Twitch stuff where I played a little bit of the older combined with the new stuff, and that sort of I figured I might as well do it this way, and then just evolved from there, basically.
Yeah, it came out great, man. I was impressed that you guys did such long sets. I mean, that was nice, a nice surprise. Obviously, when you said do the mix, do it as long as you want. I started out doing a set a little longer, but I felt like that first hour was a good representation of old and new and stuff. What about you, Miguel? What was your thoughts? Is this a regular set that you would probably play, or what was different maybe about this particular set?
I did include, I guess, usually my sets are going to always have the majority newer and then just kind of toss in some, how would you say, some goodies like oldies, just for the, for the hell of it. But I think with this mix, I just try to kind of even it out between the new with the old and just kind of mix them around together. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of my take with most mixes that I do. I always try to throw in at least one or two songs in the entire mix that's somewhat known, just so it's not like a completely foreign thing to people that are listening to it, but I mean, I don't know, like my goal was always and always has been as a DJ to do the new stuff. So I've always stuck with that like my whole entire career, and it goes along with all of the USBs that I've done for Pablo and with Pablo, that kind of will have.
How many have you done so far?
How many have I done? 3 or 2 or 3?
Oh, this is 4.
Oh, I did all of them?
Yeah.
Shit.
You're good at it too.
Man, I don't even remember the first one. That's crazy.
My next question is, how do I get a hold of some of those older ones? Is there an archive somewhere?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I have the, I know with my releases, I always digitize them, of course, and then put them up on SoundCloud, and had like a private link to all of them. So I did that and gave them to the people that bought the USB. I would give them the links later on. So I guess in my SoundCloud, all 4 of them are in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just privately. Yeah. And actually, I think I still have like 1 or 2 of the last ones that we did, the little flat, the flat.
Oh, those are very
white
cool.
ones.
The circle ones?
Yeah, the circle ones. I still have a
Those
couple
are super
of those
cool.
left somewhere.
Yeah, that was I was gonna do that again for this one, but have like a rubber casing for them. But I just ran out of time, and the first one he was talking about, it's a great design, but a lot of people were complaining that they broke them. So I had some calls that they jammed them in there or something, and they broke or something, because they're
ouch.
They
were a little flimsy,
yeah,
very delicate. Yeah,
but so of course I would have the links whatever for them, but yeah, so that's why I didn't do it again, because of I didn't want that happening again. But I think I do one more, like I love that round idea. I'm gonna do like a rubber casing for the final one.
What about you, Louis? What was your thought process when it came to putting this mix together?
So for me, Pablo had asked for me to get involved on some of the previous projects he was working on, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm holding on for the right one. What better one? I mean, with representation from all parts of my DJ career, all of you guys on here. I won't tell any embarrassing stories of how Vic went to go ask for permission and let me out as a 13-year-old to go play at a college party. And my mom is like, what? You're going where? UIC playing what? I remember that weekend because I debuted Concan's I beg your pardon at that party. And it was a lot of fun. But I have stories for all of you guys. Honestly, I do. Jesse, you don't know this, but you played in a basement party when I was part of the crowd. And I'm like, you and Rich Divisio. And I'm like, you know what? You guys are amazing. Whatever it is you're playing up on the north side, it's working. And at least in my head, it was. Nice. And we just had the opportunity to kind of bring that over to the south side a little bit, along with everybody here. But I have stories for everybody. And honestly, for me to be part of this was a tough thing, because I'm thinking, what am I going to play? So what I chose to do was a little bit more along the late 80s, early 90s, you know, a little bit of the CYC thing mixed with the Alcatraz stuff and just, you know, bands that really stuck out from that particular era. I have the shortest mix on this USB. I think by like a minute or something, Miguel. I don't know. I think you and I were like almost tied there.
Yeah, I think I was
But,
like just over an hour. So I was like an hour and like,
oh no, you're way over that. I was like 40 minutes or something.
oh no, I was like an hour and 5 or something. I think I
Yeah,
just
so
went over an hour.
So the mix was longer, and then I said I'm gonna chop it up a little bit because I was thinking about doing a second one. Then I heard Victor was like at 2 hours. I'm like, oh yeah, forget it. He
2
probably
hours and
played.
42 minutes. To be
Was that on purpose,
I-
Victor? Was that on purpose?
It was like a 3 hour, but then I just cut it down to 2.
No, but the 242. Was
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
originally it was
that was
3 hours.
awesome.
Yeah.
Mine was probably almost as long as Vic's, but I just felt like I got lost in the dark techno and it was like instrumental for too long. And I was like, let me just, I originally chopped it down to 90. And then I was like, there's a couple things I played and I just wasn't like, if I could just take this out clean, and I couldn't do it clean. So I was like, let me just give them a solid hour. And that was cool. But yeah, I'm honored to be a part of this. I mean, there's a lot of guys you could have reached out to from that era. There was definitely a lot of great DJs. So I'm happy to be a part of it. And, you know, I don't get a chance to play this music anymore. You know, it's still like a love of mine. And I still buy it and I still buy records. But, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm not as involved in that scene. So anytime I have a chance to really, you know, get down and dig in the crates and play some different stuff, I think my mindset was, you know, just play some different stuff, but, you know, don't totally like alienate people. So I was like, and then I don't know what happened. After that, I just kind of started playing and I recorded a long set and I said, I'm going to be able to find at least an hour or a good chunk. And, you know, I was kind of, you know, after I heard you guys, the mix and how professional it sounded and the levels and everything, you know, I'm happy I was able to go back and tweak some things because, man, you know, you guys definitely did an excellent job from the selections and the mixing and all that stuff. But the quality of it it's very much top notch. So definitely, my hat's off to all you guys. Thanks for including me.
Oh, you're welcome.
And you know, hopefully we can do more stuff. You know, there is talk about us doing this live. Pablo, what are your thoughts? And what's the progress? I know Lewis also said some people were asking about that.
So
Well,
I held some pickup events, and everybody that came to pick up a USB from me at these events was asking, when are we going to see all you guys together on stage and doing a set and, you know, taking us back live? And I said, man, that's a great idea. So, and speaking of a few folks and a couple of the promoters that I know, they're like, well, I would make that happen. How much would that cost? And I'm like, wait a minute. We need to talk the business aspect of it aside, because I think we got our own thing going on here and we could put that together. I actually sent out some messages and we're doing some inquiries. I think Pablo and I connected on it. We'll get everybody involved once we have some ideas and some in terms of location, because it's got to be done right. I mean, this isn't just going to happen at the, you know, VFW down the street, guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be done right.
Though. That would be very old school.
It would be very old school.
Or
Highlanders.
Highlanders, yeah. I mean,
I
that's
have
cool
a
there.
suggestion for Lewis. We find out the location of that house party me and Rich DeVizio played at, and we do it there.
That basement. Right?
Man, that house was sold years ago. I don't even know the people that lived there just relocated. It would be kind of cool to go back to an actual
show up
location.
with a camera crew.
Come on, Lewis. You're a real estate guy, man. You'll be able
That's
to
right.
figure
Make
it
it
out.
happen.
Camera
Hold
crew
the place. Don't show it to nobody. Say, come on, guys, before I sell it.
Wow,
If we
that's
have
a great
somebody
idea.
filming, it seems more legit. Like maybe we should let these guys take over our house.
But yeah, something's in the works, Jess. Just something's in the works, and we'll get involved. There'll be more meetings and stuff, and we'll see if they could come together. I think it'll probably be next year sometime.
Yeah, probably. I think realistically, maybe in the spring. And my take on I did 3 mixes on this. You know, the first one I kind of wanted to stay like I did. I felt like, you know what, let me play like I really play at Alcatraz, because that was my mindset. You know, I didn't do a lot of editing, no 1-minute songs, you know, not 3 songs, 5 songs later for 10 seconds, none of that stuff. I wanted to play it like I did at the club. That was my take of everything. And then I wanted to, and I did 2 mixes like that of the, some of the stuff that came out in the early 90s, like say Deja Vu and all that, And the title of the second one is Retrowave on Earth 2. And I don't know if you guys noticed, some of the songs were sung by other bands. So, and in my head, I'm like, well, this is how it would sound on a different, if you follow that Earth 2 or 3 theory, I'm a geek. I follow that stuff. How will your life be on Earth 2 or 3? Maybe, you'll be this and, not who we are here. So that was the concept I kind of went into, And then I wanted to have fun with some, I love techno. That also, I love it. And then I was able to find a lot of good stuff that was made like recently, all this year. And then a track there was a track that me and Victor Luau, we collaborated together and we put together like quick. Victor's you're a master man, you're a genius. Anyway, and yeah, that is me singing, or trying to. And thank God Victor was able to alter my voice as much as he can. But yeah, it's on there, and it went really good with the stuff that's out there now. It was a great blend, and I hardly get to play that anywhere, because you know how it is, if you go to an old school party, they don't really are too warm, accepting to the newer stuff, So this was my little outlet too to play new music, and I love that dark techno, that dark wave stuff, and that was my take on it. And I think Super Motors hit me up right away. Oh, hey, can you guys give, when can you do this, and blah, blah, blah. And I told them, well, we would need enough time. First of all, it just can't happen, right away because everyone's busy. We all got separate lives. We all, we're older now. So I told them, give us enough time, give us a date, and then we'll give you a price, and we'll make it work, So I would like to turn this, if when that happens, also to like a documentary, where we've had someone filming us getting ready for the event and everything there, and we really go a little beyond just a party, just a get together, live. I mean, really do more to it,
I want to take it even a step further, and it depends. I'm going to see how committed you guys are, because I say we do the documentary, we kind of lead up to it, but we do this like Real World style, like the Real World, the show where we all live together, like for a month.
I'm done. I work from home.
Most people can work from home, and we get the cameras going. And we live together, and then there's going to be arguments and drama, and someone stole my USB.
I was going to play that song, man.
Hey, man, I was going to play that one exactly.
I want to say great job on the track. I in my longer version, I did play Victor's version of it, but it was great because all 3 versions kind of fit in different vibes and stuff too. So I have a few mixes, and I've used 2 of the versions. Maybe it's next year, maybe it's later this year. But yeah, great job on the track. It was good to hear. I mean, the way it was recorded, very professionally, and it brought you back to that era. That was the main thing that stood out. There's a lot of music that comes out now that's trying to emulate that sound from back then. It seemed pretty authentic. So definitely congrats.
Good job, Vic.
Thanks. Thank you.
Oh, and one point that I wanted to make about my mix is that the intro to that mix, that song was dedicated, that whole intro is dedicated to Vince, to our friend Vince Sanchez, because that was always like that song, which is Sympathy for the Devil by Leibach, was always a song that he always bugged me. And we're talking going back to the 90s to play. He's like, play Sympathy for the Devil, play. So that was his jam between him and I, like that. We always just like, it was our thing. So I'm like, I got to do a little dedication to Vince. That's why that intro, I brought that vocal intro in for him. So yeah, just want to make that, bring that out and say that was for Vince.
Definitely.
Cool.
I mean, all of us probably have separate stories about Vince.
Oh man,
doing well. We've all crossed paths. I went to high school with Vince. Vince was in one of my first graffiti crews. I mean, it's just kind of crazy when you start connecting the dots and really thinking about things. I kind of forgot about a lot of that era. So yeah, much love to Vincent Sanchez. Anybody want to contribute anything? We got about a little less than 10 minutes. Anything you guys want to touch on?
Yeah, I think I would like to say what's this project here really hit, like it really I really felt it, because we're at that age. I don't mind saying I'm 54 years old, and we're at that age where you never know if you're gonna see each other again. So that's just why like this project like meant a lot to me. Like, oh, you know what? And if we do get together, it probably will never ever happen again, like live. So I'm thinking like that. At this age, you think differently now. I do. I can't speak for anyone else, but I speak differently because I'm like, this could be my last set, and I want to leave behind some kind of like memorabilia for those who are into the DJ culture, here in Chicago.
No, very true. I think that we need to tell our story. There's been opportunities for the house music of the 80s and the early 80s and, all of these different Paradise Garage and, all of that stuff had a chance to tell a story. The one thing in Chicago, I wish we would have been better at documenting that scene and just kind of, we were in the midst of it all, kind of just living it. But yeah, it's important to kind of tell the history of the music. And for us, it's a particular era of alternative music. Most people who are from that era will realize that it wasn't a popular thing. It was kind of an outcasted music. So when we were playing this music, not everybody was into it. Now everybody's new wave or whatever. But I remember plenty of times when I started out, it would always clear the floor, and then I'd have like 5 people that would go out there, and and then it's funny, little by little, it got more popular and more in vogue. But it wasn't like that in the beginning. It wasn't like that for a long time. So we were definitely some of the people that were in the trenches trying to push this alternative music here in Chicago, especially on the South Side. A lot of people think I'm a North Sider. I'm originally a South Sider. I'm originally from the Southeast Side, moved Southwest, and then I went to go live up north after high school, and that's where the gigs were. There weren't really a lot of gigs where you could play this music up there. So Smart Bar was, that was like my first gig. So yeah, definitely you hit on a good point because that era, as you move forward through the 90s and later, it got kind of a little more accessible for people. But
Right.
In the early days, not a lot of people, were looking for that in our area. Up on the north side, it was a different thing. 21 and over clubs, yeah, Medusa's, Early On, Exit, all of those places. But, early on when we were doing our flyer parties in church basements and Caesar's Inn and all that stuff, there was just a handful of people that were really into this.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Well, I'm excited this all came together, and who knows? Who knows? Maybe a world tour somewhere. Just take us out of the house. I'm sure our significant others, wives will be happy to see us get on the road and leave them alone for a little while at the house themselves. Anybody want to contribute anything else before we wrap up?
No, good.
For people who are going to see this later, if they are set on finding one of these USBs, Pablo, give us the information. And they may not, they're very limited as far as the production of the actual USB that says Pioneer. But if for some reason they want to track this down, what do you suggest, Pablo?
I think I like Miguel's route where he does that invitation link. I think we can go that route.
I can send you, Pablo, like the link, and whoever else, so like that when people ask, you could have the whole collaborative of like all the mixes, you know what I mean? Of the, if whoever does upload it digitally, so like that you could just give people, the link to the mix.
Right.
You know what I mean? For whatever.
And now for the hard copy, I know, Jesse, you have some available.
Yeah, I still have a good amount.
Yeah,
I know
I'm totally out.
Vic still has some.
I have a lot.
Yeah. So
I
definitely,
oversold myself actually. I like, I'm gonna save 2 for myself, and I wasn't counting. And I
Dude,
was
I'll
like,
show you
shit.
2 of them.
I sold all of mine. I don't even have any for me. I was like, damn.
I
I
got
kept
one for
one.
you. If you
I kept
need it,
one.
Miguel, I got one for you. I got one
Thanks,
with
I
your
got
man.
name.
$40.
And Louis, thank
I
you
know, right?
again.
$40.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll cut
man.
you a good deal, Miguel.
Oh, look at that.
Louis,
You
thanks
got one.
again for fronting me those 2 for my friends that came out.
Not a worry, man. I had extras for that first batch, and then the second batch actually, they're all gone too. I haven't even picked them up from Pablo,
So you're
but
all
I'm
sold
keeping
out?
a few. What's that?
Are you all sold out?
I am. Yeah,
Are
I'm
you
all
gonna have
sold out now.
another in-person pickup, or are you done with those 2?
If you want, I could set it up, Vic. I don't mind.
All right.
I like going
I
to
mean,
get
if
a
you're gonna
beer.
do one, I'll be more than happy to pick it up. Yeah, shit, that's beer. You had me a beer.
And I
Right.
could give you your vinyl back, bro.
Vinyl, right?
I still got a few I'm trying to save for stocking stuffers for Christmas coming
Yeah.
around. So that if we don't get rid of them all right away, I know plenty of people would love to probably get that in their stocking.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure.
So
All
I
right,
look
guys.
forward to next year. Hopefully we can get together and do this live. You know, that'll be great.
Yeah, that is the goal. And maybe for people who are just seeing this, where should they check in with you, Pablo, if they want to reach out directly to you? Is it best on social media?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, DJ Pablo Punca Gonzalez. You can hit me up there.
Awesome. He can connect us. Everybody's pretty accessible. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good
Yep.
stuff. I don't know how I became the host. You asked me to host this Zoom thing, and for some reason, I went to host mode. Sorry, guys, I didn't want to take
Oh,
that.
that's-
No, that's good. That's
You're the man
perfect.
for the
Cool,
job.
fantastic
Right?
job,
Yeah.
Jess.
You're the
You're a
right-
natural,
Those,
man.
Awkward silences, I'm sure.
I'm working even when I'm not working. Awesome, guys. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. If you guys want to jump back on for a second, let me just stop the recording. And I want to thank everybody who's checking us out. And if you want to learn more, reach out to us. Stay safe, everyone.